Well, hey, good evening. We've spent most of the day, or this afternoon, taking down the garden, just making some preparations for this fall, winter. Just spent the afternoon, our last hour or so, getting leaves for my beds. I had a total of 10 garden beds, and so for each bed, I've got 32-gallon trash can full of finely chopped leaves. Now the coarser the leaves are, the more of a chance the fungi in the soil will break them down. The finer or the smaller the pieces, the more processed these leaves are, more opportunity the bacteria in the soil will have to break these down, and that's what we want, is kind of bacterial dominated soil. That's what vegetables kind of like. I'm gardening according to what they call the soil food web, and it's kind of an extension of organic gardening, but basically the idea is to work with microorganisms in the soil, which is like putting billions and billions of microscopic farmers to work for you as they process the nutrients in the organic matter that's in the soil and stabilize or make available various nutrients that otherwise plants wouldn't have access to, and in the process improves the structure of the soil, because as these microbes are breaking everything down, the larger microorganisms, the arthropods, the earthworms, things like that, they're feeding on the microorganisms and chewing their way through the soil. So the idea, we're gonna do very little we're not gonna do really any tilling of the soil. We're at a point now where all we do is just add layers of organic matter each season, well, and throughout the growing season, and the idea again is that the microorganisms do the work for us as far as turning the soil, aerating the soil, improving the structure of the soil so it has a greater capacity to hold water and nutrients and so on and so forth. And I tell you, it's worked out really beautifully. This past year I did probably a very minimal amount of weeding, and the reason why is because with these layers upon layers of organic matter, any kind of weed seeds that were in the soil were too deep to really react to the sunlight, or if they did react to the sunlight, there were too many layers to grow through, and so they kind of ran out of gas as they were coming to the surface. So very little weeding involved. Didn't water near as much this past year, and this is my third year kind of taking this approach with it, and again, it's worked out really wonderfully. So the idea here again is I'm going to spread the leaves out over here, and I'll probably have another layer of leaves that drag up after the initial kind of processing of these leaves, so that there's a nice, at least 3 or 4 inch leaf mulch across the whole thing here. Now as it rains and snows and this, that, and the other, that leaf mulch will break down into basically compost. It's called sheet composting. That's basically what I'm doing here. I do plan to add some soil amendments. I really don't have to, but I thought I would go ahead and experiment with that. Maybe some azomite, the trace minerals. There's various things you can add to the soil, but I think that's one that I am going to try to do. I haven't really had to add any animal fertilizer, or manure, because basically this organic matter here is just a rawer form of what the animal would be processing. So, but if I do change my mind on that, I'm going to use, I think, sheep manure. Found a place that sells it in tubes, 100-pound tubes for like 20 bucks or something like that. So But anyway, this is what we're doing, getting these ready for fall, winter, and then really in spring. The first chance I get, as soon as the ground is thawed, and you're able to plant, I'll be planting my cold weather crops in here, my onions, my lettuce, my carrot, the root crops, various things like that. So that's all I got for now. Still got some work to do. I need to put away these templates temporarily for now, and then I'll be cleaning them later. I guess that's it.